Have another new day here. Another new thought to explore.
Yeah, we have lesson 223 today. Yeah, we are in this beautiful passage, 220 and onwards. And there is a great introduction that we read a couple of days ago before you came, Muna. It's very helpful. And he's saying that we're just letting the exercises be a beginning. We're just using the words as a help to go deeper, but they're just a beginning into a deeper state. So we could just let these ideas every day kind of be part of our psyche, be part of our mind, be part of our thoughts, not just for meditation, but through the day. We can let each lesson be something we actively practice to remember and ask how we can experience it. And then it is forgiveness is the theme for these exercises. General, it's what is forgiveness, it describes. Okay. As needed, anyone can just go back to read that throughout this period. The introduction and the theme of forgiveness. But today it's 223.
Which is, God is my life. I have no life but His. God is my life. I have no life but His. I was mistaken when I thought I lived apart from God, a separate entity that moved in isolation, unattached and housed within a body. Now I know my life is God's. I have no other home, and I do not exist apart from Him. He has no thoughts that are not part of me, and I have none but those which are of Him.
And then we have a prayer. Our Father, let us see the face of Christ instead of our mistakes. For we who are your Holy Son are sinless. We would look upon our sinlessness, for guilt proclaims that we are not your Son, and we would not forget you longer. We are lonely here and long for heaven, where we are at home. Today we would return. Our name is yours, and we acknowledge that we are your Son. So being God's Son means being one with God. I have no life but His. That's beautiful. So we can really allow the truth of that to be with us today and be with us now in this meditation. Don't have a life without God. God is life. Deep within, we know this is so. Deep within, we just want to rest in that experience. So again, we can hand over our worries. and our doubts and concerns and our plans. And we ask for experiencing we have one life in God. We hand over people. We hand over events. Decisions. To make the space clean and clear. Yeah, I have one life, and that I share with God. Because what is not that is no life. It's death. Anything that is not that is death. So we're invited to experience the one life, the life we share with God, in God, with one another. It's experience, true experience, there is no other. But in the mind training phase, we may still feel that there are others. And so we share the practice of one life, opening up to the experience of one life in God, releasing the death belief, the doubt, the fear, the anger, the separateness. And in any given instant, we can take a look at that and say, I don't want that, I don't want death, I want life. I want to know that I live. You say, I want to know that I live, period. Or we can say, well, I want to know that I live in God, one with God. The same thing. And if there is anger or fear or something else, you can just inquire about that. But is that something I need to carry on with, or can I release it? Can I give it over? And if there is something you need to put on the altar now to symbolically get help, mention it so that you can release it. Sometimes mentioning it is helpful. So if somebody has something you want to mention, you're welcome to do so. Muna?
Yeah, it's such a deep lesson, isn't it? I do believe I have another life, a life other than God, of course, and that's how I live it, and that's why I'm unhappy. And yeah, it's like I haven't taken that on so completely that God is my life, and then. And I haven't taken completely that the peace of God is mine. And so that unless that's my starting point, I'm just going to stay upset, really. I'm like taking on that God is my life just gives me this space to go back and see that the one who's really upset is the ego. And it has to come out, of course, it has to come out and comes out unsavourily. But as I was thinking, like, there's defensiveness today because I shared too much yesterday. I just, with this lessons, like, no, that's just exposing the ego, and that's very beautiful. And really, that is the story of my whole life. All these traumas was just when I ask what is in common between all of them is that I feel exposed. And so I need these lessons to just have the spaciousness in my mind to see, no, I am not the one who is exposed. And really, that is everything if I keep this practice. So, yeah, thank you. Beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, that's it. You're not the ego. The good news. Solveig.
Hi.
Hi.
I would like to put on the altar all the resistance I have. I can see through the lessons, the lesson today. At the moment, there's a lot of anxiety coming up, and when I was journaling, I suddenly remember I confuse condemnation and redemption. For me, it's the same. And I was really looking into that. And I thought it was only in English. And then I looked at it and I, no, it's actually in Danish too. And yeah, realize this fear of love had up a couple of days ago. I really had up this, no, I really want to open up. I want to experience this. And suddenly I see this, it's more or less the same. It's the fear of redemption. I have this belief that I'm going to be rejected and disappointed. And it's a big mistake to open up. So I would like to put that on the altar.
Thank you. Yeah. Redemption means release. It's the furthest away from condemnation you can come. Yeah, it's good. And you're seeing that, yeah, you made a prayer to experience love, and then the resistance to it has come up, but you see, you don't want that. You don't want the resistance.
Oh, it's strong. Yeah. A redemption judgment, there's something in there. When I started Course in Miracles reading that, every time I got to that word redemption, first I had to look it up and translate it every time because I totally forgot it every time. But I realized now that there's a lot of resistance in that. Yeah.
Final judgment.
Yeah. I feel that don't even want to look at it. Yeah.
You're free and whole and complete. It's the God's final judgment of you. Not you as Solveig, not you as a person, but you, who you are. That spark, that the truth that you want to experience. So it's good for you to read about those things in the course because they are the opposite of what the ego has convinced you. So maybe you should read a bit more. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for your willingness. And usually it's just to sit with it, sit with that fear, and the mind will just shift. Sit a little longer because the fear will try to guide you to distract away, but to sit a little longer. It doesn't have to be long, but get through the hurdle, instead of running away.
Yeah, there's seemingly a lot of things to do when I have get to this place.
Right.
Mm.
Peter.
I just wanted to acknowledge that it's easier for me to talk about the darkness that I'm attached to than and for my love of God. Just wanted to try that out, actually, just to say that here now. It does feel like it's moving. But
Mm.
yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, just pointing that out in the course. Isn't it easier for you to say I hate than I love? It's funny that there is such a attraction to that, to talk about the problems rather than extending your love for God. Yeah, thanks for that reflection.
It's in the Fear of Redemption that I just read that says that.
Hmm. Oh. One mind. Yeah.
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 Yeah, I was just reading the lesson again, and it really touched my heart. And then Peter said, like, it's really hard to talk about that, the love of God. And it's like, I didn't even think I had words for it. It's like, oh, it's there, but it's somehow something I don't speak about. So that's really, yeah. Yeah, it's like the mind wants to go into the problem, and yeah, it was always the invitation to really feel that love, and it's what I choose. So I have no more to say on it than that, but it's like, yeah, just to keep it. I think it's that the fear of redemption, what's on the other side of this, that keeps me going back into that littleness. So I'll lay that on the altar, that fear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like I know the littleness. I know the problems with selling a car, and I know that, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know this. I don't know this. Yeah. Magnificence, I think, is the word that's coming into my mind. And that's what I do want to know. So I just want to, confirm that. Thank you.
Thank you. The shift of perspective. Yeah. Lori?
Yeah, grateful for everyone's shares. During the meditation, just watching when the piece goes, it's believing that there's a life apart from God. Just all the thoughts come in, I can work it out myself. It just popped into my head when Anne was speaking what you said to Anne. you think you're Anne floating on a raft lost in the middle of the ocean, but you're learning that you're the whole ocean. I love that. Yeah, and I'm doing a coaching session today, so I think I just want to put that on the altar because I can feel some anxiety in my belly, and it's the same sort of thing. I'm responsible for something, and I just want to be truly helpful.
Beautiful prayer.
Okay.
Let the Holy Spirit be responsible and open up to be truly helpful. Yeah.
Just keep thinking about this dream I had last night, where Matthew and I were in a choir and we're singing about how much we love Subway sandwiches. So it's like they're talking about the love of God here today. I don't know. Somehow it all seems to connect in my mind.
Stepping stone. Maybe it's the joy in the joining, the connection, sharing one purpose.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm to share this, but it's just popped into my mind because of you sharing about your dream. I've kind of got the feeling like I don't want to lower the tone. But I had a really disturbing dream last night. I don't know whether to talk about it or... Yeah. I had a dream that I had a baby girl in my arms. Like a really small baby, and it said to me, "I love you." And then parts of the dream were skipped, and when I came back in the house, the baby was in the oven. Like someone had put the baby in the oven. And you know, when an image is seared, it was like seared in my mind. And I woke up like panicking. It's just come back to me now when Barret shared that.
Yeah, dreams always show parts of ourselves. Here it shows. Yeah, I think the feelings you have from the dream shows that, you know, you're connecting with love. She said, "I love you." It's a little one. But then there was something dark happening, scary. It's like darkness coming up.
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's okay to feel all the feelings around it too. I think there can be a tendency when something shocking or intense comes up to just sort of try to say, "Yeah, it's okay. I'm fine. I don't need to get upset. Really be here." Letting the fear, pain show up.
I can see how that feels hard because I want to mute myself. It's that same sort of feeling, like turn the screen off.
Yeah, and then maybe that is the baby in the oven.
Yeah, I want to laugh. Yeah, it's like I want to laugh over it just to avoid, yeah. Yeah, I'll be with that.
Yeah, I think it's a thought of self-doubt, and I mean the coaching call, you know, there's extend love wants to be extended through you. I love you, and then there is kind of the dark self-doubt wants to come in. So yeah, be with those feelings and let them up. It's very healing.
Yeah. Thank you.
And
Yeah, when Laurie shared about the baby in the oven, the first time that she said it, you know, like when she was in the emotion, I really had this massive urge to just laugh. And I have no idea. And then Laurie just said, oh, I feel like laughing now because I want to cover something over. And it's like, oh, maybe, I don't know why I wanted to laugh, but it just came right up, you know, and I don't want to get into analysing it too much. I just wanted to, to say it out loud and maybe release it.
But you were just practicing the one life in God. And in that experience, there is no darkness. There is nothing outside. There's no pain. There are no babies in ovens.
No,
maybe that could be that just coming from spirit, you know.
Yeah, it just seems so inappropriate, you know, like I'm like trying to hide it, you know, because it was so, I just really wanted to laugh so much. There you go. Thank you.
Yeah. But it's good. I want to encourage you, Laurie, to be with it. The emotions that came up in the dream. Just take some time whenever you feel it, just to be with it, because it's about the depths in the psyche. It's about the healing. So there is permission to be with those deep feelings. It's like a pain, something painful coming up. Because the lessons are not designed for us to avoid anything, but to know the truth. That's what they're designed for. Today, the message of the tea bag is infinity should always prevail in your life. Infinity should always prevail in your life. That's like the lesson today.
Peter.
I was meditating earlier and sort of looking at a victim place and a lot of other stuff. And it just, one moment I was above everything. And there was this flash that came through and said, just, it's okay. You can be with everything. You don't have to be frightened of it anymore. And yeah, I have been frightened of the unworthiness and the bitterness and the grievances and the anger and the fear, just of fear of all of that. So I don't think it's all gone away, but I just felt, okay. Like, okay. That's nice. That's good. So it felt true. Thank you.
In full alignment with what you shared earlier.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay.
Time to move on to our next thing.
I think so.
This was really beautiful connecting with you all today.
Yes. Thanks, everyone.
Lots of love.
Share one life.